bubble. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble. I'm the pin. I'm not the bubble.
And we are live, people can hear us. I think I should increase your volume, to be honest, like that. Good. How are you doing today, Michael?
I'm very well, thank you.
And you have been here a few times now, so you're like a reoccurring figure that keeps popping up.
Can't get rid of me.
But I think that is very nice. So today we will talk about Alienworlds, and that is something that you have been working hard on for a long time. How is that going?
It's going well. We're starting to come to the crescendo. We've done 3 pack sales. We're now onto the land sale, which is the one that we've always said is going to be the final one, and then we're going to launch the game. So yeah, landholders are obviously very important to the economy and the game. So we want to make sure they exist before we launch anything. So yeah, it's really crunch time now.
And let's dig right into the start there. Like, well, we should probably start by the basic. In case there are some new people in the space that haven't heard about Alienworlds, what is Alienworlds? Let's start there.
Alienworlds is a metaverse. It's based on the Ethereum and the Wax blockchains. So we're labeling it as DAOs in space. So we have this metaversal currency which can be used to stake towards planets. You can vote in the planetary governance. You can take over planets, and then from there, it's pretty much it's an open world as to what happens. The planets can receive Trillium, which is the currency, and then they're free to disperse that however they like. And we're hoping that people are going to kind of pick up on that and just kind of run with it themselves and think of different things to do within the game, because we provide the base kind of economy that they're going to run with.
Yeah, and I mean, this whole concept, it's a big concept, and it's a lot to take in from a first glance. I mean, just a technical paper, I don't know how many pages is it, but let's say it's more than 1 page. It's a lot to digest. But we have done interviews before, so if anyone wants, like, after this interview or after today's update, get some interest, go back and watch them and you will get some updates. Some things has developed, and like the core is the same, but the message might have changed a bit.
Yeah,
and
I think
some things.
it's always going to be changing as we go along and we find out how people use it and how they work. But in terms of the complexity, I think it's quite easy to start on a very basic level. Like, you can start just mining and just getting Trillium for yourself. And then you can sort of start voting and start getting involved in who's running the planets and how they're running them and what they're doing with the money. So it's very layered in that sense that you can actually, you can start small and work your way up if you don't understand the whole picture.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to, or you don't have time, you can just, start small and then I think build up and become a megalomaniac by the end of it.
You don't have to have hundreds of Alienworlds NFTs like I do.
No, we've made it specifically so you can start with literally nothing. You can sign up as a Wax account and you can come on board and you can start working immediately.
Okay, yeah, and just to break down the concept, like Alienworlds is like the Bitcoin mining, the proof of work mining, using NFTs on a faster blockchain and incorporating the DeFi protocol. So it's like proof of work meets NFTs meet a DeFi. How does that work? Like, how is this complex? Well, it's a complex system. How can we like digest it to understand it?
So like I said, I would start with the mining side of it, which is one of the games which we're offering as a kind of out of the box experience. And that's the proof of work that you're talking about. So that's it's one of the core factors of our economy. So if you come along, you sign up for a Wax account, we'll give you a tool to start mining with. You can start mining immediately, you can earn some Trillium, then you can go and start voting.
How does the mining work? Like, do we go to a website? Is it a game that is downloaded?
Yeah, so we're building a website which should work on mobile as well as desktop as well. So you just go to the website, you'll log in with the WaxCloud wallet account or a scatter account. No, sorry, it's just WaxCloud wallet for the website. And then you'll put in your name, you're given an avatar, you're given a tool, and then you click the mine button and you'll receive some Trillium. And then you just keep repeating that. You'll have to do it quite often and very little amounts to start with. But then eventually, if you start buying bigger and better tools, then you can take more of the pot for each time you mine.
So do I just go there and sit and hit the button, or how does it work?
Yeah, to begin with, you can go there and hit the button, and every time you hit the button, you'll receive some Trillium. And the standard tool has quite a short time between the mines, but a very small amount. So to begin with, you'll have to kind of keep going back every 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever the time is.
So it's not every second, at least.
No, you wouldn't be like hammering the button. You're basically, you go back every few minutes. We don't allow people to mine like that because we're quite aware that we don't want to kill the chain. We don't want to bog down the chain with hundreds and thousands of bots mining. So we've put a lot of roadblocks in there to stop people from mining.
We have a question if it works on Mac.
Yeah, I use it on the Mac. It works on Mac and it should work on Linux and PC obviously as well. And Android phone and iOS phone.
So for everything. And you said that we can use the WaxCloud wallet, and that is the only way to get into this interface. Yeah. Why is that decision been made?
We want to avoid bots as much as possible. We want to avoid gaming of the system. So, and we want to make it easy for people to sign up. So we're really targeting the fast onboarding and the come in, sign in with your Facebook account and then get going. That's what we really want to bring. And we want to onboard almost more people from outside the Wax community than from inside the Wax community. So yeah, that's our focus, is the WaxCloud wallet, which is a great tool for onboarding, and just like there's nothing else like it in crypto that I've seen that you can
yeah, I haven't done it with my mother yet, but I think she would manage to log in and get an account. And currently, I think she would also manage to send Wax and use it to log into places.
Yeah, she could probably even buy Wax, with the credit card, but we're not requiring that at all. You don't need any Wax to get going. The CPU requirements are pretty low for the on-chain CPU. So you should be able to do a decent amount of actions with what they give you. Obviously, if you want to get more advanced, then you have to progress up that ladder and maybe stake a bit more or buy some RAM or something. But
and now you talk about CPU and RAM, and I'm here. I have never used an EOS IO blockchain, so I have no idea what that means.
You shouldn't have to know what that means. There shouldn't be any case where you'll need to buy RAM. We generally pay for the RAM ourselves as on the contract. So somebody signing up shouldn't have any problems with CPU or RAM. If they're literally hitting the button every 3 minutes for a 24-hour period, then it's possible. I don't know, but the aim is to make it so that they shouldn't need to have any CPU for general use.
And for anyone that doesn't know what it is, that's resources on the blockchain, kind of like fees on Ethereum or whatever you want to associate with, but different.
Yeah, I mean, with Ethereum, you have to you get the account, which is a key, but then you have to go and find some Ethereum from somewhere to pay for all of your actions. So we don't have any of that at all, which I think is great.
Yeah, I agreed. Well, for a game like this, it has to be simple to use. You have to just be able to sign up and get going. And let's say I'm a new user and signing up with the Wax wallet and starting to play the game. How long do you think that would take for a new user?
I haven't signed up for a Wax wallet myself for a while, but I think it's 2 minutes to get the WaxCloud wallet, and then you just sign in and you click and that's it. You enter your name. We don't require like registering for an account with an email and like confirming the email or anything like that. So
that might be done in the cloud wallet.
That
might be done in the cloud wallet, though. I'm not sure. You might need to confirm
they'll
something.
ask for a username or a Facebook login or something.
Yeah.
But we don't ask for any of that. So once they've got the cloud wallet, they'll go to our website, log in, and they're away. So yeah, 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes.
Very nice. And okay, and you mentioned planets before. So we were painting this picture that you have this proof of work, like Bitcoin started, and then we went into NFTs and we went into DeFi, and DeFi is where the planets come to play. Well, the land also, I guess.
Yeah.
But let's start with the planets. What are those?
So the planets are DAOs, basically. So
and what is a DAO?
A DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. And there's leaders of the planet, which they're elected by the token holders. So if you own tokens of that planet, each planet has its own token. And if you own those tokens, then you can vote for the leaders of the planet, and they will allocate Trillium however they like, because each planet receives Trillium.
Yeah.
So there's this income coming into each planet, and how they decide to spend that is down to the leaders of the planet.
So a DAO is essentially a board of leaders that is assigned by everyone in the community.
Yeah, well, it's assigned by the people who stake to that planet. So you take your Trillium, you stake it to the planet, and you receive the voting token. And then with that, you can vote for who runs the planet, and then they may give you more or less. So the default is that 80% of the Trillium the planet receives goes towards mining. So that goes out towards the miners, but that still leaves 20% of their earnings to decide how they spend in any way. And that could go back to the players, it could go to themselves, it could go to anything. You know?
So when I'm in this interface, I choose a planet and then I start to mine, or is there something else in between there? No,
that's it. You choose your tools, which we spoke about earlier. Yeah. But if you're a new beginner, you just have a standard shovel. Which is, a general tool, a pretty weak tool, but it'll get you going. You can choose up to 3 tools, and then you choose the land to mine on, and then you'll just click mine. Okay,
and that's what I was leading for. You said land there, so you need the planet is getting 80%. Well, the Trillium going to the planet, 80% of that is going out to mining, but it's not just going into one pot; it's going into multiple pots.
Yeah. So, no, it goes to one pot, but then the miners, they pay a commission to each landowner. So it kind of goes through that pot and then through to the landowner. So if you mine on somebody's land, they will take a certain percentage of your commission, of your mine. Yeah.
And let's say I have a tool and I have the quantum drill, for example, and I'm mining on a volcano, and then me as a nerd knows that means that I have a high amount of ease, which means I will mine a lot of Trillium on that land. And if I do basic math, that's 100%. Does that mean that I get 100% of all available Trillium on that planet? Or
we're actually going to limit that. So there will be a limit, a cap. So you won't be able to take more than, say, 80% of the pot. Because otherwise, the guy that comes after you will have nothing, which is not a nice user experience. So, if you mine on the right piece of land with the right tool, then you can mine a lot of the pot, which is gradually being filled all the time. So it's not like you take everything for the 24 hours. You'll take a small percentage of the pot that's filling every minute.
And when I choose land and I start to mine, you say that there's one pot in the background. So does it matter which land I choose to mine on? In some
way? So each land has modifiers as well, so they can make it either easier to mine or they can make it take longer. They can make it more lucky to receive NFTs. So for example, if you mine on grassland, it's very easy to mine and there's not much delay between the mines, whereas if you mine on like a volcano, it's very hard to mine. So you receive a lot of the pot, you receive a high multiplier, but there'll be a huge delay between your mines. So it all depends on how often you want to mine and what your strategy is. So yeah, the different lands is different. So there also may be different commission rates. So you as a landowner may say, okay, I'm only taking 15%. So I may think, well, I'd rather go to his land because I pay a little bit less commission.
Will there be a nice way to see how much commission a landowner takes for your mining?
Yeah, we have that built into the interface. It's not perfect, I would say, yet, but we're looking at the community to provide some kind of tools around that to see which land is best and when to mine and those kind of things. We've got a few guys building tools which are kind of going to work around the outside, maybe in Telegram, maybe on a website, where you can find the best piece of land for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And the planet gets the Trillium. Do they get that in one shot and then everything is out to mine, and the first to mine will get mine from the biggest pool, or is that slowly being sent out, or how does it work?
Yeah, that's the slowly being built thing. So the planet receives every 24 hours. They'll claim their due amount. They'll receive a huge chunk, which then goes into one pool, and then that slowly fills another pot, which is the mining pot. So you can't just wait for the planet to fill the pool and then take it all. It will be slowly over time, so everybody has a sort of an equal opportunity over the day. Yeah.
And all different lands use the same pool there, so it's not one pool
planet,
per land. Yeah.
Yeah, so planets may be different. So one planet may be receiving not very much, but it doesn't have very many miners. So you may do better on the smaller planet. Another one may have hundreds of Trillium delegated to it, so it receives a lot. But then all the miners are on there as well.
And for people to understand also how easy it is to get Trillium, how much is the total pot per 24 hours given out to all the planets? Do you know that number?
I do, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
But we have that number.
We have that number. Yeah, there is a certain amount that goes out each day, and then that's divided proportionally by how much Trillium you have staked to your planet, with a maximum, obviously. So if one planet has all the Trillium stakes, they'll only receive a maximum amount. There's no sort of infinite cap.
And when you stake, so okay, I choose a planet. I choose Magor for some reason, and then I choose that planet. I stake to that planet, and when I stake to that planet, I get another token.
Yeah, you'll receive the Magor planetary token, and this is where a little bit of the DeFi comes in. So this is another thing that you don't need to know to play the game, but it is quite interesting, is that you contribute Trillium, you receive the planetary DAC token, so that's a 1-to-1 swap. So you basically get one DAC token for each Trillium. Then the planet can decide, well, okay, we want to reward all these people who are staking to us. So they can contribute Trillium to that same staking pool. But they won't receive a DAC token in return. So this breaks the peg of 1-to-1. It means that now your DAC token is worth, say, 1.1 trillion. So there's the kind of DeFi there, whereby the planets can reward people for staking to them by just sending to this pool. So that's one of the major decisions that each planet will have to make, as to how much to return to their holders. So you could almost you can stake to a planet, and then you can receive back more stake than you actually sent if they keep rewarding their users. Yeah.
And that pool will work the same as the Wax DeFi model, it seems, like the Wax governance token. That pot just keeps being filled up, and then when you burn your token, and then you get your portion of that back.
Yeah, so the ratio will always go up. There's no way that the ratio can go down. So you'll never receive less than 1 trillion per DAC token. You'll always receive more if they put more into the pot. But they might not do that. There may be another planet which says, okay, we'll take the Trillium and we'll build NFTs and we'll reward you with those NFTs. So it may not be quite so simple to decide, but there will be this like increasing pot that's given. Yeah.
And you say that the planets have this, they can do a lot of decisions. So how many people can I vote for? How many is needed to make any kind of change on the planet? Any of these kind of...
We're looking at you being able to vote for 2. There's 5 elected, and it requires 3 to make a decision.
So I can't take over the planet myself.
Yeah, as a mega whale, you can't take over the planet directly. You'd have to split your pot into 2, so it kind of halves any power that a mega whale has. So we've been using that on EOS DAC, and it seems to work quite well in kind of tempering down the effect of whales. It's quite a nice mechanism.
And that's good that you mentioned EOS DAC, because this software that the planets are using, that is something that you have built before and have been using for quite a long time.
Yeah, it's the same software that we're using for EOS DAC, so it's been running for quite some time now. I think coming up 3 years that we've been running EOS DAC using the software, so it works quite nicely, and it's something that we're just kind of, we're looking at it as kind of taking this to the masses now, whereas it's been very kind of niche for us just to use, and a couple of other DACs like Vigor's been using it. But now we want to kind of show everybody how it can work for them and how it can work in that kind of a different kind of ecosystem.
Yeah, so each planet will get their own, also a web interface where all the voting and all the decisions are made.
Yeah.
Will that be the same as people can find at members.eosdac.io?
It is, yeah. To begin with, it will be that, but there's quite a generic sort of interface. So we're just deciding now how it's going to work in the future. It's to begin with, we'll use the generic one, and then in the future, we may well customize it. We have the Galactic Hub, which is basically a worker proposal system whereby we will pay developers to come and work on the ecosystem. So it's quite possible that somebody will come along and say, I can build a better interface. And then we'll pay them with the Galactic Hub tokens to do that.
And Galactic Hub tokens are Trillium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so people know. So if you want to, when you see this client for the planet and you feel like, oh, I can do a better job here, then you know that there is a pot to earn Trillium to improve on the game.
Yeah, we're going to be very generous with that as well. We're not going to, we're not going to hoard it and only give it. We're going to try to make as many different ideas as possible come to life.
Yeah. And before we go a little bit more into the planets and the planet sale, well, we should just mention that anyone can go to the alienworlds.io and go to packs. And if you go there, you can pre-book land. And we will go more into that, but just if anyone is interested. And if I open a promo pack, for example, which people, if you read message in the chat, you know there's a way to get it. And I will get into that as well. But promo packs, you get some Trillium. And if you get this Trillium, there's, if I'm not mistaken, you get between 1,000 and 2,000 Trillium from one of these promo packs. If you take that into how much is mined per day on the average planet, is that a lot of Trillium? Is that a small amount of Trillium? Do you have any kind of...
It's not something that we've been able to work out because there's too many variables there. You'd have to know how much was staked to that planet. You'd have to know what kind of tools that person was using. You'd have to know so many different variables before you could say whether that's a decent amount. We're kind of banking on it being roughly like $5 worth of worth in that pack. So it's a decent amount, but how that compares to how much people mine, it really depends on so many factors that we can't predict. It's like the Fermi equation, it has 8 variables, but we don't know what any of those variables are.
Yeah,
we can plug different numbers in and tell you, okay, if there was 100 people playing and they were all mining using this and this amount was staked to the planets, then they would get that. But in terms of an actual number, I wouldn't be comfortable giving a number because I know it's wrong. It would be almost certainly wrong. It would be very hard to get the correct number.
But yeah, so okay, the amount of the planet gets is also dependent on how much is staked to that planet.
Yeah.
So in one way, being early doesn't necessarily mean that there will be more Trillium to mine.
It's a percentage of the total amount staked. So
Okay.
yeah, it's not an absolute figure of how much is staked. It's a percentage of the total staked to all the planets. So yeah, actually being early doesn't confer any special benefit there. Being on a planet which has a disproportionate amount staked is an advantage, yeah. But not necessarily, because if it attracts all the miners,
Yeah.
then you may well be better off on another planet. There's some very complex maths going on here, and timing based as well. So now it may be best to mine on this planet, but in 5 minutes time it may be better to move on that planet because some big guy
Can I
might.
stake to multiple planets? Can I mine only on the planet where I own land? Can I only mine on my own land? And one more question, because that was not enough. There was just 3 questions in one. Let's start with the next one. There's like number 1 mints. Is that all lands, or is all lands pre-minted, or all unique? How does that work?
Right. So first questions were, can you stake to multiple planets?
Yes.
Yeah. You can stake half your Trillium to one, half to another. Can you only mine on the land that you own or the planet that you own? No, you can mine anywhere. You can own land on one planet and mine on somebody else's land. It's obviously going to be beneficial for you to mine on your own land because your commission rate is essentially 0, so you'll make 20% more. But no, you can mine anywhere. Third question. What was the third question? I had it. It was just recently. It was the last one.
The number 1 mints. Is all lands number one mints?
Yeah. So land is basically categorized based on the type of the land and the planet. So if you have grassland on Magor, for example, which I think is incredibly rare, I think there's only one or maybe none of it, because Magor is quite a volcanous planet. So that would be mint 1 of grassland on Magor. There may well be 50 volcanoes on Magor, so you'd have 1 to 50 mints. But yeah, everything is pre-minted before it goes into the pack because land has to exist really for the game mechanics to work properly. Otherwise, it gets weird if we start.
Yeah.
And it's also, land is not burnable. All of our assets are burnable, but not land. So that can never be taken away.
There are no volcano eruptions destroying land.
No, a lot of people say that. They're like, well, what happens if the whole planet explodes? And it's like, that's not something we plan to do. It's not something we can do within the atomic assets framework anyway, because, assets are your property and we can't destroy your property without your permission. So
it's like blockchain is made for that or something.
Sorry?
It's like blockchain is made for that, so my property is my property.
Exactly. We couldn't even prevent you transferring your land to another person, so we definitely can't burn it. The only thing we could do potentially is kind of change some assets on there, or as a federation we can stop sending money, but there's very little that we want to do we obviously don't want to do anything that's going to upset people or reduce the value of anything they own. That's like very foremost we only want to increase value, so it would be stupid of us to destroy people's land.
Yeah.
Or reduce its worth somehow.
And also one point that could be made clear is that anyone could create any token and give out to any planet in any way they want. It's all on the blockchain. It's all possible. You can do whatever, and it's not supported by Michael and his team, but it doesn't matter because it can happen anyway.
Yeah, we're in this blockchain bubble, this blockchain swimming pool, and anything can happen in there. So that's how it's very different from a normal game. A normal game is very siloed, and you can't go into it, you can't come out of it. Whereas we're in this blockchain ecosystem, and anything's possible, and that's what I think is best about the game, is that literally anything can happen.
Yeah, And what I find nice here is that, let's say I get voted in a planet, and I have some friends, and we get voted in the planet, and we can start to make some changes. If we felt like it and we had someone building it, we could build a mod to any game and assign a portion of the Trillium going to the planet to a pool for that game, so you can essentially play a third-party game and earn Trillium on this planet.
Yeah, so you can monetize any game or any kind of activity that you like outside of the game itself. We only provide a couple of games just as a starting point, as something to get going with. But we definitely want people to come and build extra stuff on top and use that Trillium income to fund these.
Yeah, and okay, let's go into the. Let me share the screen soon also. Let's show people the land and how the sale works. Let me see if I can find the right place on my there. Now people can see this is a Medium article. I will share it with you so you can see it as well. There, and you can see it. So this is the Medium article of the land sale, and if anyone wants to find it, I will also link it. If you go here, you can see that it starts on December 4, and 30 UTCs is when it goes live. And at that time, is that the starting time, or officially it actually started a few days ago? So what's the pre-sale?
Yeah, we're taking pre-orders whereby people can choose which level they want to buy in at, and if there are land packs available at that price when it drops down to that price, then they'll be first in line to be to purchase. So they don't have to. It came from our first sale whereby everything sold out very quickly at one point, and it was nighttime for a lot of people. So they were saying, well, I was asleep when this all happened. And a lot of people have jobs, like we've heard from people during the GPK sale, for example, that, that they can't take an hour off to go and start taking part in a sale. They have jobs to do, and they maybe have a lunchtime where they can pop out, or they can do it in the evening between putting the kids to bed and having dinner. So it's not convenient for people to always be there. So we allow this pre-order whereby you can say that this is the point I want to buy in at, and then once the sale is in effect, then it will buy it for them at that particular point.
Yeah, and now I will break your page a little bit by zooming in, but I think it will reach the mobile size, so that's good. And before I went into here, I could choose between Wax and Ethereum, so there are two different pools of lands. And if I just go here and I drop down, I can see my pre-orders is 15 packs. I can see this very easy. It's period 36, so it is the last period. So this is the cheapest one. Right now, there are 139 booked here. And what happens in case everything sells out in period 35? What happens with my pre-books then?
It's unfortunate for you. You won't receive anything. You'll get a refund, but you won't receive anything. So if it sells out at period 34, for example, you won't receive anything, but you'll receive a refund after the sale is complete. So you're gambling that it's going to go down to that price. And if it doesn't, then sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So I've locked my Wax here. I might get my packs, or I might get my Wax back after the sale is done.
Yeah.
Just so people are clear with that, what happens. And if we go back and we go to Ethereum instead, on Ethereum we have transactions fees and stuff like that, and we have some pre-orders here. What happens if they sell out and I don't get my packs here? Will I lose the transaction fee? Will I get my Ethereum back?
You lose the transaction fee when you send it to us, but when we return it to you, we will pay the gas. So actually the gas for sending the refunds is not so bad at all. It's like 10 cents or 15 cents to return it to you. So
sending a transfer of Ethereum is not expensive on Ethereum. It's just a smart contract
interaction. Yeah. Yeah, you won't lose twice. You'll pay to send it to us, but we will pay to send it back.
And if you want to participate, so the first thing is that you need to log in with your Wax account. So I have my Wax account here, and I can go down here to the pre-order. I can choose one of these different ones in different prices, whatever I choose, and then I can hit how many, and then I hit the pre-order, and I need to sign the transaction, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so it's kind of a strategy as to where you're looking to bid. You know, you can see a lot of people there going for cheeky 36, and we see that every time. There's always a lot of people who try to get in at the lowest price.
Yeah, but it's the best price, you know.
It's the best price.
Yeah.
But then maybe you think, well, there's too many people at that price. Maybe I'll go in just one above, which you can see some people have done as well. They've gone just above to hopefully get in before the rush. So there's some strategy there as to how much you're bidding.
If we take this for example, we have 139 pre-booked here.
Yeah.
Let's say there's just 100 packs left when we get to this period. What happens then?
It's processed in order. So the first person to make the pre-order receives it first, and then so on and so on. And then somebody may receive only half their order at one point, but it's done in order of people ordering.
Yeah, I think those aspects are kind of nice to know, that you will get your tokens back even if you use Wax or Ethereum. Doesn't matter. You will get whatever you sent minus the first transaction fee on Ethereum that when you sent it away.
Yeah, you just got to wait till the whole sale is done before you'll get any refunds. So your money is locked up for the entire sale period. Yeah.
And let's say I have my Ethereum, then I need to log in with this thing. And so this is like the MetaMask or whatever wallet I use, right? Is it only MetaMask, or can I use other wallets?
Yeah, we only support MetaMask at the moment, but...
And this UI is because I'm so zoomed in. I think I'm like 170%.
Yeah, so we only support MetaMask on this front end, but when you make the payment, you'll receive an address to send to. And that's unique for your payment. So you can send it from an exchange, or you can send it using another wallet or whatever. We just have the MetaMask login for convenience, basically.
So let's hear, I have this, and right now I'm not logged in anywhere, and this is Ethereum. If I hit here, I need to choose my country. I'm from Sweden. I agree with this.
Sweden's the top just for you.
It's for me and my army, right? And then I get this this pop up, and here this is a cloud wallet thing. So I need to have a cloud wallet because that's where I will get my packs.
Yeah, we can't see that, but we assume that there's another pop up that you've got here, right?
Yeah. So this one I get oh yeah, everyone but you can see that.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, they can see whatever on my screen, but you can only see the browser behind it. So I get this pop up. There's an auction ID. There's auction period. There's quantity. There's something referrer. There's something. I think that's
we have a referral scheme for Ethereum.
And then we have the buyer, and the buyer is my cloud wallet account. So even if I buy with Ethereum, I need a Wax account.
Yeah, because we'll send the packs to the Wax account. So what you're doing now is you're just telling the Wax blockchain, I'm about to order some stuff.
Yeah.
Way too long.
I waited for. Yeah, I was too slow to show this, but I will just show the next step as well. Because when you do this, this is what happens. And currently, I have not done any payments. I have done one action on the Wax blockchain, I guess. That I approved, and then I can send as long as I send the exact amount here plus transactions fee to this address, my order will be made.
Yeah. So that address there is specific for that particular order that you just made. So if somebody else makes another order, they get a different address.
So anyone that wants to make this order for me, feel free now.
I'll fill that for you if they scribble down.
So whatever this is, like if I have an exchange, I can send Ethereum here. If I have whatever wallet I use, I can send it here. I just have to make sure this is the exact amount that comes in.
Yeah.
Or you have to manually process.
From exchanges and all kinds of different places. If you click Pay Now, then it will bring up the MetaMask. But like I said, that's just for convenience.
Yeah. And it won't, because I deactivate it when I don't use it. But in other cases it would. So that is very simple to do. So the price ends at 670 wax, and it starts at 12,570 wax. Well, and the equivalent of Ethereum, and then it goes down. Each hour it drops down 340 wax or 0.02 Ethereum until it reaches this bottom price or until it's sold out.
Yeah. And that 670 is a bargain. We feel like the 670 is basically giving the land away for free, because you receive land, but you also receive 7 other cards. And we've changed the probabilities on this as well. If you scroll down, do we have the probabilities on there?
I think so.
I think it's down the bottom somewhere.
Here.
Yeah. So the drop rates are slightly different for the land packs. So we've realized that there's quite a lot of rares in the world. So the rare probability has been dropped down, but I think everything else has been raised. So there's a 0.2% chance of mythical, whereas in the standard packs, I think it was 0.1. And legendary and epic percentages are raised as well for this land pack. So yeah, at the lowest price, we believe we're giving away the land. That's our theory. So we're kind of hoping it doesn't go that low, but everybody else is hoping it goes that low.
Yes, because then you get the most land. And Ronin asked before, and I waited with that question, is it that so you can mine with other games, and I want to clarify that is if someone builds that plugin, or your team, Michael's team, do that in the future. And they have been looking into other games and seen if it's possible, and yes, it is very possible. It just has to be done. It's the hours that has to be put in and make sure that it works.
We've done the feasibility, and it's all totally possible. It's going to take somebody, preferably someone who knows those games, to be able to go in and just write a quick plugin to run it. And then obviously you have to take over the planet. So as well.
Or you can build it together with the planet. I mean, you don't have to take over it.
Yeah, true. You don't need to run the planet, but you have to have approval from the planet. Or you could possibly even get approval from the Federation, and then we'll build it into the Alienworlds game for everybody. So there's a lot of possibilities there. But yeah, you need some kind of approval to receive the Trillium to spend in your game.
Yeah, so if we look at this planet, the Yeates planet, we can see that each of these squares are different lands. So you can own land on these. And when you own land here, you will get a commission from everyone that mines on your land. And you can change that commission so you can make it a better or worse deal for people. You can, perhaps you take a larger portion of the Trillium mine, but I own another token, or I own another series of NFTs, and I give them
people who mine on your land. You can do anything you want really as a landowner. In fact, as anyone in the game, you can do whatever you want. There's very limited rules that we're working to.
And is there if we go forward in the future, is the land limited to this Trillium mining, or is there anything else planned?
No, we have a lot of plans for land. Actually, we're looking at land as being like a window into the world, and we're looking at having businesses on land. So basically, if you're a landowner, you can then park some sort of business on top of the land, and we're thinking that it can be an e-commerce building, so that you can actually sell NFTs from your piece of land. And then we're also looking at having kind of game items on there. So you could put, we could sell hospitals, and you can put a hospital on your land. And then within another game, say the fighting game, if your minion gets hurt during the fighting game, then you take them to the hospital, and the landowner would receive the money for hospitalizing that player.
So it's like walking around in the Pokemon world, where you have to go and heal your Pokemons when they are hurt, but you need to probably pay in Trillium for it.
Yeah, so the landowner would basically, they would buy the hospital, or they would buy the land upgrade. Maybe they buy a like a pharmacy, and then that sells potions, which are then used in another game. So there's lots of things like that we're planning. It could even be like an upgrade to your land, which then allows better mining. So it changes the mining stats. So you can say, well, come to my planet. I'll still charge 20%, but I have better stats on my land, so you will do better. So you should attract more miners to your land, and that we're thinking that will transfer with the land as well. So it will actually make your piece of land more valuable. So the stats will be stored as actually in the NFT itself. So you'll kind of be upgrading your land itself. So yeah, so there's two components. One is that it's a window into the game, and the other one is that you can improve the land by kind of you can improve the land either via the mining game or via other games as well. It's very, very open-ended as to what's going to happen, but landowners we're looking at being sort of they're definitely key stakeholders within the game. They're kind of secondary to the planetary governance. So
it's like the real world.
Yeah, and they're stakeholders, so they're definitely going to be benefiting. We're looking at having them also have some kind of veto rights within the planets, because the planets themselves could impact how much the landowners earn. They can change the games, they can do all those kind of things. So what we're looking to do is to have veto rights from the landowners. So if any changes would affect the landowners, they have to get approval from them, from the planet.
Yeah, that's interesting, because let's say there are 3 different planets. One planet removes all mining rewards and only rewards staking on that planet. That means that the land, if you mine on them, you get nothing. So owning land on that planet would not be good. It wouldn't be a good way to earn Trillium through other people using your land.
Yeah, so that's why we're looking at giving them a bit more of a governance say. And also we're looking at actually paying them in parallel to the planet, so that the land rewards don't go straight through the planet, they go separately. And the landowners will be rewarded based on how many eyeballs they attract. So if they own a hospital, then we may pay them commission based on how many people they resuscitate in the hospital.
Yeah, because that was my other like we have these 3. So one planet removes everything from the land, another planet takes a portion and give out to landholders. Is that also possible?
Sorry, repeat that. Somebody just appeared.
I saw that, and it's okay. This chat is open. As long as he doesn't speak, it's all fine.
Okay.
So if I have land and I vote for someone, well, I changed the Trillium comes to the planet. I own the planet. I run the planet together with you. You and me. We have all the Trillium and we mine and we can do whatever we want. We decide to give out, like we keep 80% to the mining, but we take the other 20% and give directly to all the landowners. Is that something that could be done as well?
Of course. Yeah, we're going to make this as open-ended as possible, so that anything that you can come up with will be allowed, basically. So yeah, you can incentivize landowners that way, and you can. If you had your own business, you could try to pimp it through your landowners and pay them to promote your business, your podcast, your YouTube channel. That you could say, right, you need to all put a banner up on your window page, and then we'll send it through to my YouTube, and I'll give you a percentage.
Don't give me ideas. No, but that's good. And then like the third planet could change everything, so 100% goes to mining. There's no staking rewards.
Yeah, and that might well be a good strategy, because it's an easy strategy, just change it to 100%. The landowners could actually veto that, but it's probably unlikely that they would, because they would do better from it. And actually they would be pushing for that. They would want to have more go towards land to mining because they
Yeah,
they-
and the big token holders that vote is probably the ones that do not want that to happen. So unless
Yeah.
they also own a lot of land on that planet.
Yeah, well, we're thinking that a lot of the voting will come from landowners because landowners will be earning Trillium as well. So they will, if they choose, they can have a lot of governance, normal governance stake within their planet.
Yeah.
So it's very complex once we start getting into these like politics and everything. So we have to kind of think a lot, and we're kind of stepping very slowly. That's why it seems like, you know, not everything's happening at once, and there's a reason for that. Is because if everything happened at once, we'll discover all the problems with it at once, and everything will fall apart. So we're kind of taking it step by step, so that we can just test every kind of scenario before we go forward. Because there's a lot. You know, people think of all kinds of ways to game the system, and it's going to happen. We know that, so we're kind of trying to build in as many breaks as we can.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And when the game, okay, we have said that the land sale is on. There is you can book your packs right now. The sale is going live on December 4th.
Yeah.
If like we also want to start to mine. When is that going live? When is the interface going live?
Yeah, so we're beta testing the mining interface now. It's looking good. It's hopefully going to be ready in time for just after the sale. So the plan is that we'll release the interface in a beta stage very shortly after the land sale. And that will include mining, and it will include staking towards the planet, but probably not voting for the planetary governance. We're going to keep all the planetary governance as us, basically, as the Federation, and we won't change any settings from default, but we will allow people to stake to different planets so that the planets will receive more and more Trillium.
Is that to prevent someone from just going in quickly and changing all the rules?
Yeah, we just, like I said, we're just being careful. We're being very pragmatic here about how much we do at once. And there's a lot of complex systems all kind of working together. So we just need to be very careful as to what we do and how much we allow to build up in a planet. So we may well decide as a federation that 20% is going to go back into the pot, so that all stakers will receive that as a reward. We don't know just yet. We haven't got that far, but the first step is to open the mining and the staking. Those are the two things that we want to have in the first release of the game interface.
Yeah, and we have a question, and that is if people are able to bypass the interface and talk directly to the smart contract.
Of course. This is always possible. It's not supported. We're not going to help you out with that, but of course, everything's on chain. So yeah, there's no way we could really kind of prevent people bypassing the front end.
But you have done something.
Huh?
You have done something to make it more difficult for them.
We have made it more difficult, so it's slightly harder for people to mine if they're not using a WAM account. So WAM accounts have a slightly lower.
And WAM accounts is the cloud wallet, just to translate.
The cloud wallets, yeah. So the cloud wallets have less proof of work required because it's thought to be happening in the browser. Whereas the other accounts, it's actually a lot harder to mine. It will take possibly up to an hour to find the correct hash to mine if you're not using a WAM account, whereas a WAM account takes about 10 seconds. So
it's a big chunk of time compared to doing it manually. So
this is to prevent someone creating thousands of accounts and then mining with them off chain. It would bog down their computer quite a lot, so they would have to throw quite a lot of real world CPU at it. Also NFTs, they would have to make sure that every account has NFTs. So as you're discovering, I believe, it's not that easy to game, right? You can probably do it, but
You would
not
need a
like
lot of items, because if you use a shovel and you need to repeat that every 3 minutes, but it takes an hour instead of 10 seconds, then that is a lot of loss. So to compensate for that, you need a lot of accounts, and doing that on one machine, doing that computation will be very difficult.
Yeah, so it's definitely we definitely haven't solved the problem, but I think we've tried to make it as fair as possible between the people who are mining and the people who are using the interface.
Yeah, that is very good. And so one thing we should mention here that I wrote in the beginning is that if you, when this video is live, comment below your something about Alienworlds, so not just your Cloud Wallet account or whatever. You need to comment something about Alienworlds. It could be whatever that is related to Alienworlds in some way.
Name your favorite planet.
Favorite planet, favorite NFT, how Michael is looking amazing today, whatever, something related to Alienworlds, and your Wax account. If you do that, you will be taking part of a giveaway of packs for Alienworlds. And also, there's two running. So if you take the link for this show, this live stream, whatever, and you share that on Twitter, you use the hashtag AnioEX, and it's also in the top. I can pin it for anyone that wants to do that. Let's pin it so people can actually see it. So if you share this on Twitter and you use the hashtag AnioEX, you tag Alienworlds and Anyobservation. So that's my account and Alienworlds account. And you follow both of them, you share this, then you will also be able to participate. I already tracked them. But I get a message for anyone that participates in this. I get the DM on a private Telegram for myself. So I get all of your messages there. You should add your Wax account there as well to make life easy. But it's okay with Twitter as well.
Definitely add your Wax account, otherwise you may not get it.
But it's okay. I get your Twitter account, so I can tag and spam you. Just a little bit more work. But we will be giving something, and there will be some nice. I will also send out some Trillium for people through this giveaway. So participate, and you have a chance to get something. And I'm not specifying on what, but there's something going out, and there's
it'll be something good. I feel.
Yeah,
I feel it'll be a good prize.
And there may or may not be more like that coming in the coming week. So that is good. Okay, we have this land, we have the land sale, we have proof of work, we have the mining, the game is coming, and then we have something that people in the community, the Alienworld community, is waiting for, and that is the shining, how you can upgrade NFTs. When is that coming live? How is that working? What is needed to do it?
Yeah, it's a really popular feature. It's the ability to increase the properties of a particular NFT. So you'll increase the properties, you'll increase the power, and you also change the image. So you get a nicer kind of shiny graphic, and there's 4 levels. There's stone, which is what everything is now. All of these ones here are stone level.
Yeah.
Level above that is gold, and the level above that is stardust, and then it's antimatter.
Yeah, and as he said, all of these you can see that they are all stone, even though the storm giant here is very fancy and looks cool and everything.
Yeah, so the gold version has a little animation and it has some gold effects. All of these are static, so all of the shined ones, they have nice little effects. Some of them even change the image. I'm not going to say which one, but there's one.
If you have been following things, you know at least one that can do that, because it has been shown and it has been shared.
Has it? Okay.
I think so.
I think you know. I don't know if everybody knows, but there is one which actually changes quite dramatically the image as it progresses up.
Yeah, I think it was shared, but I could be wrong though. I could be wrong.
I think it was shared with you privately.
Shining items has been shared though. That's for sure.
Yeah. So basically, if you take 4 stone class NFTs of the same type, you can combine them together to form the next level up. So 4 stone
and something else, right?
And some Trillium, a little bit of Trillium for each level.
And this is why the shining is not live, because people will have to start to mine before it can go live.
Yeah, we want to make sure that people have Trillium in their pockets before the shining is available. Otherwise, it's going to be slightly unfair for people. Um, we know that there's going to be a huge rush. As soon as we open this shining, there's going to be a massive rush to get the first mints.
Yeah.
Because you mint a new item every time you shine. So whoever does the first gold, whatever Storm Giant is going to get the first mint gold Storm Giant, which is obviously going to be very sought after. So we want to make sure it's as fair as possible. So we're going to give a little bit of time for people to get Trillium, which is why we're also giving away a load of the promo packs.
Yeah, because currently the promo packs is the only way. And right now on screen, as you can see, there is some kind of fancy 3D animation spinning thing. What is this?
I don't know. It's a message from Ayoshi.
Who is Ayoshi?
Is the alien who's been guiding us through the Alienworlds. And this is just to kind of give a little bit more information behind what's going to happen and give a little bit of insider information. So this is going to be added to over time. And I would say people should keep an eye on the website to see what other stuff we reveal from Ayoshi.
That's good. So there's an incentive to go in if you like to find more information and everything.
Yeah, I mean the game is very complex and there's a lot of stuff which is changing as well. So we're gonna reveal more and more and more information as time goes on, and that's the kind of strategy we're taking. It's not to kind of offload everything at once. Although you can do that if you want to read the technical spec, you can definitely get it all in one go. But the plan is to kind of slowly reveal details and information to people.
I'm trying there to open it.
Yeah, as you can see, it's a number of pages long. It's taken us quite a long time to.
Yeah,
and it's a living document as well. You can see it's a Google Doc, which means we're changing it constantly as well. So,
yeah, it's been evolving, and if you want to have an advantage in this game, you probably need to spend some time into this document and figure it out.
Yeah, and people have. I've spoken to people who said, "Oh, I've read the whole thing," and yeah, they're the ones who are going to know. Some of them know more about it than me. You know, I forget some things because I'm getting old these days. But yeah, some people have read it all and they know everything that's going on, and they're definitely going to have an advantage, I would say.
Yeah, we have one question. It is what he's asking if you have some kind of avatar walking around on the land, or how is that how it works, or does the land not work in such way?
We're not making a 3D land at the moment. That's not how it's really going to work. It's if you think more Farmville rather than Decentraland, I think that's probably a good way to put it. We're going to have a view of the land, but we're not necessarily going to walk around it and kind of talk to people, because we don't necessarily see so much value in that kind of side of things. We're a slightly different game to that. We're not trying to make something where you can walk and bump into people and spend half the day.
You can do that on Discord instead.
Yeah, you can, we have computers, so we don't need to necessarily walk across great terrains to find other people. We can teleport between places. So that's more what we're going to do, is be teleporting rather than walking around. Having said that, we will have this the hub project, which will allow people to build these things. And if somebody says, I want to build a 3D representation of the planet, then we may well fund that. We may well say, yeah, this is a great idea. So there's been people coming to us who are coming up with ideas that we wouldn't have come up with, or if we had come up with the ideas, we certainly wouldn't have prioritized them enough to actually do them. So that's why I think it's great about this idea, is that we can bring on these crazy ideas and have these extra people doing things without kind of necessarily impacting the game going forward, as we see. And definitely the kind of the core of the project going forward.
Yeah, and something that you guys has been trying to do is really bridge the Ethereum and the wax world, and this is what people can see on screen right now. The Claim Ethereum airdrop. What is that, and what have you done here?
Yeah, so we've identified, I think it was about 800 accounts, but I could be wrong on there. There was quite a large number of accounts who own these different projects, the Rare Eagles Unchained. And if they go to the unboxing site, they can claim a promo pack by just signing a message with the Ethereum account.
So there's this Claim airdrop button if you go here and log in.
Yeah. So we've airdropped tokens, we've airdropped packs to both Ethereum and to EOS DAC holders on EOS. So if you're an EOS DAC member, then you may well see that there's some airdropped EOS tokens there as well.
Yeah, that's good to know. And when you're here, there has been a few sales here. They're all sold out. But if you go to your inventory, you will find that you might have a few NFTs. You can see how they look. We as a community has noticed that this like main little person, this has been infecting the metaverse.
He's definitely everywhere, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He will be featuring at some point in the gameplay. So yeah.
But then you can find your inventory. You can sort through tools, and there are other places where you can sort these kind of things in a good way. Like
just a very basic interface that we've built. We don't believe that it's going to be the best place to view all your stuff. I think the Wax Explorer is actually probably one of the better places to see what you have and what you don't have.
Yeah, probably. Let's see if I can.
I think
Oh yeah, I'm always breaking this website on stream.
Not our fault.
No, this is not your fault. It's probably because I have something preset. But this page, I'm not gonna try to solve it right now. You can look at it. Good.
Yeah, so we've built a very simple interface to show you your packs and mainly to open the packs, but also the cards will show there as well.
And I actually gonna open one of these EOS DAC packs right now just to show how it looks, because it's kind of exciting. And I hope that you will get sound, but I'm not sure because I'm just sharing the browser. So you will get this, and you're logged in, and you have to sign this transaction to open it. And let's see what we get.
Good luck.
And then the cards come in from above, and you can see what you get. So I got some Moonshot Blade. And this is a typical pack for me.
Not the best.
So I got one of these rare, and the other ones are common. Nordic Warrior, we have the Female Grey, and we have a basic explosive. So this is one of the mining tools.
Good. To be honest, that's a decent tool. You know, you get a large amount of the pot with that one. If you combine that with a couple of other tools, I think you can have a very good bag.
And this charge time, 1,200 seconds. What does that mean?
That means the time between mining is 1,200 seconds. Was that 20 minutes?
Probably. Yeah, it is.
I think it's 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then we have this snowflake. So the luck one, what is that?
The snowflake means that you have a 1% chance, which is then later modified. So it's not 1%, but let's call it 1. And that's your chance of receiving an NFT. So every time you mine, there's a chance that you'll receive a bonus NFT as well.
Can the bonus NFT be anything? So I can get the Nordic Warrior?
You could definitely get a Nordic Warrior, yeah. We have another class of items which is called Abundant.
Yeah.
So when you open the packs, the lowest class you get there is the common, which is the grey one. There's a light grey version as well, which is abundant, and that's most likely what you're going to get. You're going to get an abundant item, which is kind of not very useful, but there is a chance of receiving anything up to a mythical when you mine.
Yeah, they're very good. And then when I got them, they will appear in the top here, and you will see the mint numbers in as well. And yeah, the mint numbers might take a while to get because it has to be updated.
Yeah,
and
it takes
everything.
a few seconds to update. But actually, mint numbers don't mean anything in the game. There's nothing.
It's just for collectors. They care about it, but the mining tool don't care about it.
Yeah, within the game we can't even see the mint numbers, so it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, so that is very good. And like, so this first thing that comes out, we have the sale on I want to say Friday, but it's the next week. It's next Friday, and we have the sale and it's ongoing. The last is 36 hours later, so that should be kind of midnight Saturday.
Yeah.
In the UTC world. So in the United States, it will be a little bit different. I'm not gonna do a time map for you.
Yeah, it's very difficult to organize this so that it finishes or it's kind of at its peak in everybody's different time zone. But we've tried to make it so that kind of the peak time, which is sort of towards the end of the sale, it tends to be. That is kind of accessible to most people. And if it isn't, then you've got the pre-sale, you've got the pre-order anyway.
And then after that, we have we are going live with the game that is the basic interface to actually go and mine on the land, choose a planet, stake to the planet. That is coming live shortly after.
Shortly after, yeah. It wouldn't be immediately after its sales finishes because that's going to be the weekend for us. So we'll probably wait till the next week at least. But the aim is to get it finished as soon as possible after the land sale. Yeah.
So then people can participate in this DAO in space.
Yes, people can start mining as well. That's the key thing. We want people to start mining.
Yeah, very nice. I think we have covered pretty much everything on the land sale right now and answered a lot of questions. Thank you for coming on. Do you have any last things that you want to say before we go, or you think you covered everything?
No, I think we covered everything, and I think we're going to meet again. And when you start to take over planets, we'll have another chat as well.
Yeah, for sure. So that is very nice. And everyone watching, if you watch this after, just comment below on the video, comment something about Alienworlds, comment your Wax account, you have a chance to get the pack. Share this on Twitter, follow Alienworlds, follow me, use the hashtag AnioEX in the live chat, you can see it pinned. The live chat is playable after the video is live as well, so just share that and you have a chance to get a pack as well. And this will be ongoing for a few days. It will be sent out. Probably it will be sent out before the sale goes live on the 4th.
Yeah.
So that is good.
But obviously you can't open any packs until they're enabled to be opened. So you can't open packs before the sale is complete.
Yeah. So
we normally open we allow the opening 5 minutes after the sale is complete. So, or the sale starts rather.
And that is for the land pack. There will be some promo pack, so you have a chance to get some Trillium from this. And if you get one of those packs, they can be opened immediately because they have already been released before.
Yeah.
So that is very nice. Thank you for coming on. Thanks for taking time and for making the NFT world of Wax exciting with these kind of things.
Thank you.
Peace.